I don't know.
Right.
I'm done.
Okay,
You know, tree cleaner.
Takes too much work to keep them alive. Wow. You,
Okay, well, I guess when we're starting, big road numbers down to 292,685.7.
Do you have the enterprise that you cut included in there?
No. I was a good girl and I kept my enterprise and general fund separate this year.
Okay.
I behaved. I didn't get that, a false sense of excitement.
Did we ever determine the IT stuff? As far as, I went back and counted, we have 38 email addresses and 8 devices.
I don't think we did we? Did everyone get back to us with devices?
yeah, discussion last night, but nothing we did. Not agree or what?
and that was kind of a rough idea of if we went with the accounts, the email accounts that didn't need all the full blown Windows 365.
Is there a big difference in those?
So we just do email on 50 gig storage, it's $4 per email versus the $20 per 365 thing. And then if we do the unlimited storage, it's $8 per email.
Okay.
So you have 8 devices. Do they all need Excel, Word, and that kind of stuff?
You know, 4 of them are just CAD computers. And 2 of them for sure don't have, we don't do anything with those that run CAD.
So 6,
6 of them possibly, but 4 specifically.
4. So 4, possibly 6. 4,
So let's shoot high. Let's do 6.
6.
You probably want, you have 8 devices. Did you say all of them needed Office?
Just
No.
6.
No, yes.
Probably most likely 4, but maybe 6. So we're just gonna say 6 for sake of ending up high.
Home stuff.
They're ready to go through it. We want to calculate.
Oh, just start calculating. Good thing is, I can
And it was $4 if we just did email and 30? 20. I have enough numbers right now.
do 38. So it's just an email, 38 emails, would be $152 a month. If you go with the $4 plan.
How many emails? I'm
38.
tracking with you.
38.
At how
Which
much?
is at $4, that's 152. If you do the unlimited, then you double it, so you 304.
Well, that's a lot less than $800.
But you're gonna need, you won't be able to do all the licenses at the $4, because you're gonna need Office somewhere.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we did 6 at the $20 rate
20.
to get Office.
Right, that comes to me to $248.
180 to 2 at the $4. 2 devices, right? Am I understanding that right? I'm not.
Six at 20 is $120. 32 at 4 is $128. $248.
So devices and emails are separate.
They are, that's not devices, it's just email.
Oh, see, I got six devices at 20, and then 2 more at $4, because they don't, right?
You got me lost. So there's 38 emails.
Okay,
And if you have 6 devices, so 38 minus 6 is 32 emails at $4.
okay.
Why are you removing devices off of email accounts?
Because we're all tired and got sense right
So we
now.
need 38 email accounts.
38 emails.
Okay, we need 6 of those email accounts at $20 a month, because that's the full-blown account. We need the other 32 emails at $4 a month.
So
Nothing to do with devices.
right. So if you do 32 emails times 4, and then you do your 6 times 20, you'll come up with a number.
Right, 248. That's for just emails a month.
Yep.
And then we have to add the device cost on top of that.
And there's 8 devices,
So 8 devices, yeah.
and we need, is it no matter what, or is it a difference between if they have Office or not?
No, the devices, it has nothing to do with email. The device is just for updates and antivirus software and things like
Okay, how
that.
much is a device?
25.
$25?
I'm not tracking here, because if you get email with Office 365, so you would get, we're doing 6 365 times 20, those come with email.
Yeah, but we're actually talking about the upkeep and the IT work on the devices. So
Gotcha. The upkeep side of it beyond 365.
Yes.
Now I'm tracking.
Okay.
Well, that's why my notes aren't making sense either. I'm like, there was more
Okay.
numbers in here.
Now, so 20, yeah, it's 24. on here.
Are you ladies paying attention?
I got lost.
Do you know how many of you guys have? I'm separating out here.
I
fire
knew he
department
was gonna
now.
ask that, so I was digging my notes out.
Police, public works, water plant,
So for PW, I've got 2 towers,
so 2 devices,
2 laptops,
or,
and 2 emails.
so we have 4 devices and 2 emails.
Yes.
That's how it works.
Yes.
Water plant,
Water plant, I've got 1 email because as much of a computer guru Jim is,
we just have water plant.
You don't use it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we have 1 email and 2 devices, there's 2 computers down there? I think is what he said about replacing?
I think he said to last night.
Yeah, I think he said 2 last night, he had 2 computers that we had to replace.
Yeah.
So we have 2 devices.
but I don't know if he will want anybody.
He doesn't.
Okay.
I'll let you talk and get what he gets.
Yeah.
I'll let
If we're
you
doing
talk with
IT
Jim.
support, it's gonna be townwide and I'll,
Okay.
I'll talk
Okay.
to him. I got that. Okay, so
Please do.
my chief's digging here, town, how many devices?
So, between us and court, there is 5 towers,
Okay.
1 server, 3 laptops, 10 emails.
3 laptops, is that including ours?
Yes,
And 10 emails, you said?
yes.
6, 8, 9. So we have 8 devices. Of 1 server. Oh, it's gonna be a long night. Okay.
And I found out our server's not a server, it's a router. It's a little different.
I don't know.
Perfect.
Like,
So how many servers we have in the town? Do we just have PD and then you guys? And they don't run on a server?
I don't think so. What do we know? We offer,
You're
I don't know
you're
how.
on a tower.
All I know is we got a big mess
We run
around
our
us,
own
they come, I don't know where it is.
points all day long.
Yeah, I think it's just a,
I don't know.
yeah.
You know how we have our server, which is our separate.
But when we start talking about the town emails, public works and water line emails, those probably all need Office.
I think they all would get the money.
Yeah, because it's not like fire guys have like.
No, it was primarily because it's shared. So
Well, it's 24 something, for whatever
I just
reason.
calculate
So I was
25.
gonna say, do we want to say 25 for the
Yeah,
sake of?
for whatever reason, it shows me it's a photo, but it won't print it open right now, so.
Okay, so we got,
You have the server cost.
I have
I think
that.
it's 150.
It's
Although it's
157.
downstairs like that, that's the joy of having paper, sometimes you gotta back.
No, let me ask you this, Mike, I got to thinking about this. What about that tower that you bought
Sheena's
for
got it.
cameras?
Server management, 140.
That's the server we have.
You have network
Right.
management.
No, for the security,
Oh, that's just a computer power.
but it's tied in with the network and stuff, right?
I got 137
It's
for
not tied
servers
into,
and
because if
165
it's
for
tied in,
network.
Yep, that's what she had.
if I remember right, there's something about if it's tied in the network without a firewall, that it's hackable or something. It can be tied in network, but right now it's not.
Okay, so we wouldn't need to cover that?
Right.
Okay.
Let me go get the backup paper copy.
I use air quotes.
Network is 165. Devices, 2475 a device. Tell me notes. We're saying 25, let's say the math.
Here.
And then
Our servers are.
emails are
Alright, forget it.
email with Office,
With
with Office,
For
20.
dedicated to.
plain email is 4, right?
And that's why it's back in the information room. And that's where.
And then we're gonna,
like backups and stuff.
I'd like to figure that out before we start talking about these hourly rate packages. So we have. I should probably make a calculator for work. It takes up like these giant buttons, but.
I have 19 emails. Is that right?
So for the fire department, I got 6 emails at $20, 32 emails at $4, and 8 devices at $25. Takes it to, gotta add that up, hold on. 508. 180 for the 6 at 20, 128 for your 32 at 4, and then 8 devices at $25, devices another 200, so I got 508.
620.
Oh my gosh.
You did 3.
Okay. Oh, we're
$137.50 a month for server management. Network management is $165.
So 448,
450, yeah. Just rounded up 450.
450. So we're all crunching the same numbers here, so we're gonna do, oh man, 450 for fire department. So the town's got 8 devices, 25 a device, 1 server at 137, and then 10 emails, which will all need the office, I'm assuming. $537?
No.
No.
I've got
8 at
705. 8 at 25 should be 200, 10 at 20 should be 200, 1 server at 140, 1 net at
137.
Yeah.
7, 3, 2, 4, 537. 200 plus.
Can't be.
No,
It's
What? What
400
am I
for
doing
just the
wrong?
devices.
400, yeah.
And then
Oh,
140 for the server and
Yeah.
165. So the emails and devices are 400.
Yep.
Servers 540.
No, the server's 137.
I'm adding that to the 400.
Okay, 540, so what am I missing?
The network one.
Oh, the network.
Yeah, the network administration at 165.
Network, that's what I was missing. I didn't have the network on there, sorry. Do we not put the network on the fire department?
It's for everybody, it's one cost. So the
Oh, so
server's
you're
one
putting it
cost for
under
the
the
whole.
town.
Yeah, I just put it there.
Okay.
Server's
Okay.
one cost for the whole town and network's one cost for the whole town. Sorry, I should have clarified that.
I wasn't putting the 165 in, they know. So what's your final number?
705.
Okay. You like that? Dang, math's hard tonight, all right.
So we still need.
I got
police
public.
Devices and email. Oh, sorry.
Okay, so public work, we have 4 devices
Oh, sorry.
at 25 and 2 emails at 20. For sure, so that's 140, right?
Good job.
God. So we got 140 for public works, and the water plant, we have 2 devices at the 25 and 1 email at the 20. Look at that, it's getting easier. 70. Oh, man. Okay, so then we need police. How many devices, emails? 16 devices. And how many emails?
13.
13 emails, and then do you have a?
All,
Be 14?
well, so we have 12 of these, or 11 of these, and then we have my laptop, or my desktop, we have one other desktop, and then we have one of Luke's office, so there's 12, 34, there's 15, and then one of this back office.
Janice?
Oh, no, the community service, so that's where I came up with 16. Because these,
Noah's talking about emails.
but we'll need 365 because everybody has Excel words, the email comes with
Okay.
that, so we don't have to separate those.
13 emails still?
Wouldn't it be 14?
14.
14 emails with 16 devices. Do you need something for the server for the camera?
Well, is it high tech? No, who does the cameras?
High Tech. Yeah, High Tech did that.
So, but they don't maintain it, that wasn't part of the deal. So that would be a device that needs maintained,
So 17 devices.
17 devices.
Okay, so we got
Does that count in
17.
the watch guard?
That's a server, so that falls in the server.
Okay,
We only need, and it falls under the town's 1 server, or we're gonna have to pay for 2?
I think we're gonna have to pay for 2.
No, she said there
She
was
said
one
it-
cost for all
Oh.
the servers.
Yeah, she said it was for all servers.
Oh, okay,
So-
17,
cool.
Yeah,
17 devices at 25, that's not even math. And then 14 emails at 20. I'm using a calculator, and I've given up on, I've given up on trusting myself with math. All right. Bye. Look at this go. So, total. So total in device and email management a month is 2,070.
At 27.
I might have been wrong, didn't I?
Then your turn. That's why we're doing it right. I'm not relying on that tonight, I can't. $450, $75, $75, $140, $70. I got $20.70. Okay. And then she had hourly,
so
how does that work?
there's different options here. So there's the hourly rate. So if we need it for an hour or 2 hours, it's $46.75. What she told me the other day is if we knew there was a big project coming up, so say Lexi sitting in her office and got this brainy idea that she wants some like crazy new computer system with multiple screens, and it's gonna take 4 hours to set up, we could tell her ahead of time, we want the 5-hour rate or 5-hour package for that month, which is what she said discounted. So we're not set to the hourly package, we can up or down that as we want. If our computers are all being managed and serviced and on the network, I don't know that we really need to worry about an hourly package unless there was like something really significant coming on and just use her as needed per the hour would be my thought. Because we went, I mean, after she set up your guys' super cool green computers there, we haven't, has it been a month, 5 weeks? I don't know, how long has it been since that?
Probably about 6 weeks. I did have to call her last week, because I lost the remote connection. And it most likely had something to do with the Windows update. So she went in and got me connected and then added another way to get in if I had that problem.
Technically 5 weeks, give or take, that we didn't have any IT, and if it wasn't for that, how long would it be? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I know we have a printer downstairs that the guys are struggling with, that I would say it'd probably take her too long to fix that, so as long as things are running, updated.
$50 an hour. Cheap.
Yeah, so, I mean, how many devices have we come up with total?
They're all
17
split up.
for you, or are you oh,
Yeah,
everybody?
total in town.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a lot.
What are you doing to me, chief?
I gotta count again.
37.
You didn't need to start us out as rapidly.
I got 37.
37? Okay, so 37. So that's, if we do the device management, that's $915.75 a month.
We already did it.
Yeah, it's 2,070 for everybody,
Everybody.
a month.
For all the devices.
In your server and network administration.
Is
So
it,
that
and
just
that's,
doesn't include break fixes for hourly rates.
but server network, and that's a monthly,
So, would you say 2001?
2,070 for the whole, so we need, how much are we paying?
That's why I was just looking there, so it
Because we got IT spread like.
all over the place.
So for a year, that's 24,840 without the hourly rate calculated in.
So I know, Chief, you got 12,000 in maintenance and service agreements. I don't know
Yeah.
how much of that is
Um,
IT.
So in my service agreements, I need something around 600 for the copier, capital, whatever those people use, capital business.
So the rest is computer work.
So how much is this without?
You said 600.
Oh, taking out 600.
So say 11,400.
So we have 11,000. Public Works. Or what, I don't know where you're going.
My sheets are all over the place.
It's about one. Okay. I'll look at general real quick. Ready to fire right now?
Yep, 4,956.
Well, no, we can't count enterprise anyway.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So I'm in Public Works General. and It's Public Works under your guys's?
Yeah.
Okay, so Public Works is gonna be.
You have the breakout of yours?
374 a month.
374 a month.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
4488 a year.
48.
That's for us and public works and water treatment.
Okay, so we're,
Right.
Yes, and, Robert yesterday downloaded it, and we've got a couple of accounts on here that we think has been added by mistake to our account. So he sent me over a spreadsheet, and I've got to give them a call and question them.
What was your annual?
1,400.
So I had 12,000, there's minus the 600 or so.
No, I meant for the total you came up with.
11,400.
I got,
Yeah,
so
about
the town
11,400.
currently is paying 20,844.
Yep, that's what I got too.
It's 4,000. Ugh.
Yeah, but it's kind of apples and oranges because it's a lot more stuff than you're getting now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because you don't have that device administration and that stuff what you're at now.
Right.
Then Brian, if you have to do anything extra, is it costing us? Or can you get it done?
I don't know, it depends. Sometimes we can get Robert, to assist us, but
I'd
there
like-
are some areas that it's out of his realm, networking.
I like the idea of putting everything under one umbrella instead of these multiple and having to just come out of one, just throw it out of the town general and just say IT expense. Instead of
I agree.
multiple fingers in the IT pots here.
Yeah,
It's
and
like
then
four
this one
hands.
raises $10, and this one raises 20, and then before you know it, we're paying so much more in little increments that we're catch.
For a lot less than, a lot less
Well,
service.
And, you know, like if somebody comes in and does some work on the equipment downstairs, there's been times where it has fouled up our networking to where it's knocked our credit card machine offline,
And then you have to call someone completely different to come fix your stuff.
or Robert,
Or
or,
work with, yeah,
Robert was on the phone with Clover for
yeah.
So we have everything on one
So
person.
one person is doing it, yeah, they know,
right, they know the
What's
ins and outs of
been affected.
everything.
right,
What is it, what do you think? I mean, I know it's a tad bit more, but I feel better spending just a tad bit more.
I think you gotta put probably another $2,000 on that and make it $6,000 more. Because there's gonna be hourly stuff. There's just no way
But
around it.
even there,
But even, yeah, I totally agree. I'm not, I believe it's a beneficial. Because basically the addition of antivirus on every machine, upkeep, the number one thing great people get in is not having machines updated.
and nothing against Robert, I'd like to have an outside person handling all of our stuff.
and he would be.
He wants an outside
I was
person.
gonna say,
Yeah.
he would be on board with that.
Yeah, there's times where.
And he can fix like little bugs, like your printer's not talking to your computer,
Right.
that's
No,
fine.
he knows his stuff, man. He's said it to me many times. He'd rather have somebody just do it. You know,
Yeah.
The average is just 2 hours a month, and for the year, it's 1,000 orders a year. And 1 month, like 5 weeks, you don't use it all, then the next month you might have 2 hours.
I think it'd be worth having in there just as a cushion.
So are we suggesting changing the IT and just changing all the line items for all the departments and making it a,
Just dump it all into general government.
don't go into general government? Or 26,830?
No, we should split that.
Well,
Part
you're
of that
right.
should be paid for out of the enterprise funds.
Split it between
So
enterprise.
a portion of this should go to general government, and another portion should go to the enterprise funds.
Well, the part that should go to enterprise would be,
Well, just split it 50/50.
And say most of the time it is 50/50.
You know, because when you think about,
I
you know,
guess
like the
he
three,
does.
Well, what he does, what Lexi does, what I do, what Jan does, is all intermingled with the general government and utilities.
That's why a lot of our
How
stuff is split
much
half.
of the towns is? How much of what the town is paying now, currently set 4488, is that general government and then there's another piece in enterprise? Or,
That we're paying right now.
yeah, that's
I think it's all
budgeted?
coming out of general government.
So if we blink this under one, actually, we're gonna be cutting our savings.
Gonna deduct 7,000 instead of adding 6.
If we split it 50/50,
Right, it'll be 13,000 each, and we currently have 2,000, or
20,
20,000.
okay, so we're gonna be dropping.
We're gonna reduce.
Oh, to look at that.
Yeah, it's almost an $8,000 reduction.
Okay, well, in that case, it sounds
Sure,
even
no
sweeter.
Um,
So are we gonna bring it up 26,840, or do we want to just bring it up to an even 27 and split it in half? It's $160 more. Bring it up to an even 27 and split it in half.
Yeah.
14 here.
14,000,
Save 6.
You said 28.
So half goes to
6,000.
6,000, yes, we're taking out
Here we go, but
between police is at
it's a lot of different things.
11,400, ours at 49,56, and the town hall's currently at 44,8, so 20,844 minus 14,684
Just in case.
is what we're gonna be at, plus, yeah, right, so we're taking $6,844 out. Okay, so there's that suggestion, right? We're
Oh,
taking,
sure.
I was,
She was
So-
explaining math.
I don't know how you wanna divide it up, but we need to take,
14 and 14.
well, 14 and 14, but so how, 14 and 14, and I guess how you wanna do it on your end, and then take out the fires, take it out of, take 11,400 out of police.
so Mike, you had your 10, 15.
You gotta take 11,400 from police.
874, that's the line. Got a line.
Did you look it up?
I got it right in front of me.
And you said 11,300 or
11,400. And then out of fire, we need to take 4,956. Right?
Out of the budget.
Yes. Yeah. Mark's like, wait a minute.
The dumb thing is, I'm on fire investigation for the week. The only time there's been any fires in the county is when I'm sitting in here. So. there's a vehicle fire
So tell the
going on.
guy, sorry.
I got it covered the last 5 months.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. And then now the town take 4488 out of the general. And then, I don't know how you want to do this, I'm just breaking this down. We're adding 14,000 back to the town and 14,000 to enterprise.
We actually up $1,000. It's $28,000. We said 27 and then we added up to 28, so.
Yeah.
Just FYI.
It's still,
It's
okay,
still good, I still think.
but we took 6,800 off the big number, right?
And then
How much was general government, 13 or 14, 13,500 or 14?
14, we're just doing,
14 to 14.
and we took 6,800, right? 6,800. We're gonna say overall. Just equal to everything. I just did 68 flat, right?
I didn't say more than that, so on that sheet.
14,000 for the freeway, 64,000.
we're doing 6.9 is what we took out.
Well, I round up to 688.
So we're doing,
6844.
6844.
That's what we're doing now.
so we're doing just random like 6,000.
You're
Math?
keeping stuff.
I'm keeping the big number.
Yeah, I'm a ballpark number, so I just.
6.9 for the book.
6844. Go with your number.
6.9.
Okay, that's right.
285, 841.
285, 785.
841.
You got. Why are you off?
Because we started with 292, 685, minus 644.
Minus 6,900. I did
Oh, you
69.
rounded up, that's.
Yeah.
Okay. We can do that.
That's why I did that. We're off like $40. Oh, man. Okay. See that. You know, let's see, I think I asked you about that reimbursable expense line earlier.
I know.
Now that I think about it, I think every single year I've asked
we
you,
talked about it.
I've asked you, you're like, we have to take that revenue expectation. So I was like, why is that there?
Can't we just take that number out?
I say, it just kind of dawned on me that we had that, like, the conversation just kind of came to me, and I'm like, you know, I think every year I ask the same question.
So you have to ask it next year, sure.
Just for good measure. Like, Lexi, why can't we take
Why
it
can't we
out?
take it out?
Remind me again. Okay.
Freaking TV.
I know the firemen are a hot topic, just putting the number in the back of the head if we were to leave it under conditional again, because we don't know where the world is going. We need 98,075.
My preference is to honestly cut them, and if things do get better, we can do a adjustment. Bring it back. I'd rather have our number closer to what we actually think it's gonna be, yeah, and then be pleasantly surprised that everything goes back and we get some money, to be honest with you. I mean, I just hate to go in even conditional 300,000 red.
Not
And
this year.
I'm not opposed to adding if, last year we did a conditional when things were looking bright. Right now, I don't have the bright feeling.
No.
So I'd rather pull it and then I'd be more than happy to bring it back. If we get the happy feeling, but I mean, just as, we're still gonna be 100 grand. was in the red to start with, so.
I mean, it's so unpredictable.
It is, and but the other thing is, to me, is the bigger piece in the room is the fact of that the 3 people is an expense that we have an obligation to take on for years, to pay for their salaries and their stuff for years. And the other piece of this revenue budget is $300,000 of one-time money that we can't rely on next year. So we're really doubling that, where we're in the hole. So that just makes me even more uncomfortable to go on a conditional.
And the current numbers that we're working with is based on current health insurance.
Well, yeah, we're gonna see a health insurance increase for sure.
Yeah, we're not factoring in the increase too.
That's kind of my mindset of why I'm not so apt for.
So do we just want to remove them, and if things start to turn around with balance, we can readjust it?
That's mine.
Yeah.
Because I'm with you, I'm so afraid to say yes. And then,
I want to, I just feel that we need to be sure that we can handle it. It is my thing. And with the 300,000 of impact money coming, plus the 300 short on revenue projections, and I've kind of looked at the numbers, some of that might be a bit optimistic. I mean, I've written down and highlighted the revenues because I had some questions on, are we really gonna get that much? So.
it's hard to say, it might be more, it might be
Could be.
less,
It could be, but the other unknown we have this year is also the loss of the state level. So, I mean, you can't take it out of the realm of possibility that the state could cut funding somewhere, because they're a big hole. So I just would feel safer, but I'd be more than happy to, if things look better, to bring it back off the table and put them back on, and we're sure we can handle it.
So as Chief and I were talking about this, it was one of those, we actually stated the same thing, that last year we went into it with a pretty good look at it. It seemed like it was gonna work out. Things didn't, and this year, like Chad said, it's not looking near as good. And so we're in the same agreement.
I mean,
This would be a bad year, we think, to try to institute putting on pretty full-time jobs.
and I was so hopeful last year, like the way everything was going, it was like, yeah, and then like March hit, it was like, I was like, oh.
And we can't totally throw these ideas out the window that
Oh, yeah, no.
we get on the other side of lockdown and everybody is just hooping and hollering and spending money left and right, and we see an increase, but I'm not gonna bet on that.
Well, like, you said on the state level, but who knows on the federal level, what,
Yeah,
there's so many unknowns about what's coming.
Yep.
So, the budget's safe, we'll take them out. Brings us down to 98,785.7.
You took the 9,000 out on the insurance, the RFP.
Yes.
That was the very first thing we did.
Yep. Fred's got my different color ink here. Well,
Perfect.
black, blue, back black. So.
So revisiting the insurance thing, if the way Public Works has their budget set up, insurance is the same across general streets and alleys and parks. Is that correct?
It's
Yeah,
one
so
position
it's like
for
one
each
position.
department. Yeah,
Okay.
so he's got 6 departments.
Okay. Because I'm wondering if we were to go to like an 80-20 plan, if we would save enough money to be able to pay for the fire department positions.
I don't know. I guess without knowing what our insurance numbers are gonna be this year.
I'm out to not make a change like that right now.
No.
I get where you're going, and I think it's something we could look at, but I think we need a little front end load on it to calculate the numbers.
A little bit more of a longevity.
I think, in my opinion, and that would be a big hit to the employees all of a sudden to throw at them. And especially at a time when a lot of people are struggling. You know, I know a lot of families are without spouses.
Versus say
right
their
now.
spouses might not be working and.
I wouldn't want to
Are there
further burden
health
the
insurance?
employees at this time. But I think that's a good idea to look at, something that maybe we explore ahead of budget time.
Because I know the fire department has been wanting to get these guys on.
Even with
for
that,
years.
something that I'd be big supportive of right now, because the deficit we've got and the one-time money we got. Because, I mean, that $300,000 in impact funds is a lot to overcome next year. So that means we need good growth this year and good growth next year to overcome that $300,000.
And,
Yeah, next year's budgets are gonna be.
and
Big
cautious
things
of
around.
Well,
what
I'm
we
hoping-
spend this year.
If we do get some of that federal money and things like that, then maybe there's some one-time purchases that we can make that they're looking at in this year to help lessen the impact next year. Or even stick some away, because I've been talking with Mark, and there's a big thing looming in our future fire truck. And I don't want to hit that 350 grand by surprise.
Did we do a grant last time for?
And that's,
Two grants.
that's a really good point, because I've been doing a lot of reading and a lot of stuff, and there is potential for a lot of federal grants to be coming up. So we have the opportunity to really potentially take advantage and help along so that next year's budget doesn't hurt so bad. Some of those pop into things that fit for our needs. I believe there's a grant website to monitor that shows what the grants are and what they qualify for, so that'd be something we want to keep our eyes
Everyone's
on.
pretty good
Have
about.
you been in those?
A little bit. Colin's really the grant guru for us, so. I do know, and we've kind of looked into it before, there's a grant out there called the SAFER Grant, and it's designed for, employees, and just from what I know of it, there's different forms of it, but it's, we'll pay, I'm not gonna quote it, and it's gonna be wrong, but it's like 20 or 80% first year, like 50% the second year, 30% the third year, and by the fourth year, the municipality takes on those employees. And it used to be, yeah, it used to be that after those 3 years, you had to guarantee employment. Now it's, you don't have to, which going back to, we don't want to hire somebody so that in a couple of years we just fire them. But is that something that we should look into as far as future, I mean, having to pay 20% of that the first year, by bumping up to a 50% second year?
I think absolutely you should have that in your pocket. I mean, as we come and we are able to show signs of life are coming out of this, I think that would be a real benefit of helping make that decision a lot easier.
Be nice to ease into it every year as opposed to hitting it all
Just
at
get one
once.
big.
Getting used to it.
Because that's what we've done in the past with the police department, that they've done grants like that, and it's helped us ease into having a position.
I think that's a great idea.
Well, I will
We've
dig
done it
more
for 2
into
or
it and
3.
get all of the details on it, make sure that I'm going down the correct. 'Cause I know Chief has looked into it before, a little bit, And my wife actually during her master's degree had to write a grant, and she wrote a grant for the sake of grant. And so she looked into it quite a bit as well. So I'll do some digging around and kind of see what's going on.
I think that'll be important as we move to get way ahead of it, so we're not sitting here budgets and we're going, yeah, see if you get that grant, like that you can try to have that,
Right.
work with us as we get towards the end of the year, looking at the next projections, so as soon as we really have a good idea of kind of how things are looking, that we can start working on that, so you're not put under that
Right.
weird time
And it
crunch.
depends on when they open and close their grants and all of that.
Yeah, and I think it'll be important, like when the grants open, that, discussion is at least had. We might say that, not this year, but, if we look and we're like, hey, we're looking really good, that we can start moving towards that, because there's nothing that says that we can't address that in the middle of the year, that we don't have to wait till budgets. It's easier when we have a better idea, but I think having that ahead of time, or when it opens, and getting a good grasp on it and getting ahead of it is gonna be super important with this kind of increase too, so. Because we wanna do it, because I know you guys need it, but we wanna sustain it.
Right. And that's where Chief and I are as well, so.
I don't wanna put you guys in that position to go through 3 full times and say, hey, guess what?
Yeah. It's been a good 2 months, but sorry.
Right, yeah, exactly, yeah, I don't wanna even, or even worse, a year where they get used to the change in income and schedules and families and everything like that, and then pull the plug on it,
Right.
And the Safer Grant application period closes on the 15th, May 15th. at 5 p.m.
Which is it tomorrow.
So, a little late on that one this
Yeah.
year, but.
Work on it for next year.
yeah,
That's
something,
kind of what I was looking at. Was
I think it's a great idea,
something down the road.
and it's a great opportunity to help move us towards getting that without doing that.
and there's nothing that says that we can't look at numbers and what Lexi gets and everything before we're sitting in these meetings, that we can't take
I would like
take a
to.
glance and say, hey, where are we coming in at,
Because this jam-packed thing is overwhelming. And my brain needs more time to digest, so I'm definitely gonna hit up Lexi early next year. And another thing that will help me is our actuals.
Are you talking about her report?
Yep, her report that she pulled out
Yep.
this time that has, where we're currently at. Because that'll help me, especially as we're looking at where we're at in our burn rate.
We're
and
like,
each line item.
you haven't spent much.
Yeah.
Like, what
A lot
are
of them,
you
we
doing?
found out they have, just since this.
Yeah.
Usually those numbers in the past, nobody really looked at them except for them when they're doing their budgets. That's what they were there for.
I
So
actually,
they can see where they're at through working on the budgets.
I make them work.
But you guys asked, yeah.
Yeah, what I want to talk about, and a whole lot of them have to do with, why is that number so low? Do we need that much money?
Yeah, we need that much money. Exactly.
Budget meetings. They didn't necessarily look at them.
So did we figure out what we were doing with the insurance component? I.e., I know they're going back to look at renegotiating our rate, and we're gonna push a campaign to get everybody to get their wellness checks, but there was some discussion of the combination of deductibles, or out-of-pocket, maximum out-of-pockets.
That was one of the things that they was going to, check with Cigna on to see if that would not reduce the rate.
Will they give us, if it, both ways, if it does?
I would hope so.
And we can ask them, because they'll have that information. how they
Yeah,
do
that's
it.
what I was curious.
Because I think that's a deciding factor.
To me, yesterday, thinking about it, I was like, that's a big thing, but when your report says it only affects 2% of the people, then I have to wonder.
Yeah, because most people are pulling out of both. Most people are pulling out of medical and RX.
2% of our people is gonna be one person.
And I don't know how big of a difference.
I thought. So I was thinking about this.
Are you
I
the
had
one
some things
that
in mind.
Can't help it, it's that expensive, we don't need it.
But I'd just be curious as to how that works out.
Is that something if they came back with a meeting that you would be interested in
Absolutely,
sitting in on?
absolutely.
So they'll come back and they'll talk about it and talk about data and,
Yeah, I've got a lot of experience. I was on the city of Casper's health insurance restructuring plan. So I spent a lot of time meeting with a lot of people, looking at a lot of different options. And we were doing a lot of stuff where we kind of touched on yesterday, beyond the wellness visit to wellness in general. We would have wellness plans where we'd encourage employees to go out and exercise, do things like that. I mean, all kinds of stuff. Basically, we were looking at it as a group as how do we drop the claims? Because we were in the same boat, with rising claims, rising premiums. So the only way to take that on was for us to try to create a healthier population.
Right.
and I don't think we have I think with our situation, unfortunately, is I don't think we have an unhealthy population. I just think between the type of claims that we had, which were kind of weird, and then the low wellness numbers on paper, it looks like we're an extremely unhealthy population.
Well, it only takes one. I mean, frankly, there's one catastrophic event could make that number look
And that's
minuscule.
true. Yeah.
I mean, it takes one person with one major
Oh, yeah.
event, and that's it.
And that's why, I encourage the wellness side, because then it's one less factor. We might have a high claim year, but if at least the wellness isn't super low on top of it, that there's a little less of a push there from the insurance. But like I said, right now on paper, it just looks like we're super, super healthy and we don't visit our doctors, which,
I'm sitting here eating candy.
right? I mean, I feel your dentals.
Yeah, I agree with you,
Like,
because, I
oh my
mean, one
God.
person, like, when I had mine done years ago, it was, $500,000, just one surgery. So how can just one person affect the whole town's rates? I mean, it's kind of, to me, it's dumb, but.
Well,
it's like,
insurance,
you
the
know,
whole insurance function to me is, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but I think it's a scam
Yeah.
at the end of the day, for sure. Just how it's done and how it's worked.
Because like you were saying, that whatever the 340,000 you're talking about, that's in claims, I mean, that could easily be one person.
And a lot of
Think
it's
about one
doctor.
person of 2 million in a year.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that's,
Well, and also it's where we're at. I mean, our doctors, it goes to how much the doctors are charging, how much, places are charging, like, I think it's a really, really ugly web if you dig into it, but
it's a beast we have to play with.
yep, unfortunately, so.
Well, and, yesterday when we talked about, the $1,800 max on prescription and $1,000 max on medical, combining that into 4,000 doesn't sound bad. But then when you mentioned, if
You
you
gotta pay
got
it.
somebody, yeah, and so that scares me now, for the employees.
Yeah, if an employee is rather healthy, but has something like diabetes or something like that, that has a high medication rate,
Yeah.
you've basically doubled the out-of-pocket they're paying every year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but their numbers say it only affects 2% of our population, so maybe it's not that big a deal, but I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, so I think, I think it would be awesome if you,
Be happy to.
was able to
Happy to
sit
help.
in on the next one, because you've got a lot of experience at it apparently, but I understand insurance to a point, but
I'd be happy to sit in if we don't have.
I think this point, we really can't make anything on the insurance. I mean, I think it's gonna go up, but we have no idea
Just have to adjust it when it comes.
what they come back with. I mean, we had one employee who's no longer with the town, who was one of our catastrophic events on here, and was a chronic condition that they were accounting for too, so.
Hopefully, it's not.
Who knows?
But,
Yeah.
I mean, really, we don't have a whole lot of choices.
I think that's the curve that we're faced with. You guys are looking at a 20% rates. I talked to another municipality and they're looking at 18. And, you know, they told us 19, so I don't see that number changing a whole lot.
No, I just anticipated that's what it was gonna be.
Well, I think it's a curve that we're gonna face, but like I said, I wanna make sure that everybody in the town
This
is,
is what we pay yearly now, based on the one person. That's what the increase would be. So yearly, we pay 394,000, and with a 19.9% increase, we'd be paying 472,000 yearly for health insurance.
Yeah, substantial.
well, and I think that's where the education thing is gonna be huge with all the town employees. On just things they can do to help us. It all kind of starts to blend together eventually, and you have to really,
That's double what I was thinking.
I don't know what else much we can do. I mean, we're going in this year way better than we went in last year.
Yeah.
I think we've done about as much as we can until we start affecting services. I mean, the only thing that's left is start taking things away that are gonna cut services in the town, or,
And that's a really ugly path. I really don't.
no, I don't want to
If
either.
we can hang on for a year or two.
You can get rid of second Tuesday if you like.
Just throwing that out there.
How much money is that gonna save us, Ron?
Not much, but say anything in it. I don't know,
It's
after this
enterprise
last
benefits,
one,
Well, see, that's enterprise, Ron.
yeah, I know.
Sorry.
You still have to do
I
second.
won't put them in general.
I don't think we're allowed to.
About a week out, everybody, second Tuesday is coming.
You know, I think too, if everybody can, you know, remember that everything is anticipated.
Yep.
Anticipated revenue, anticipated expense.
Just like we've done in the
If we
past. I
can
mean, I think the departments are, all these guys are not frivolous with their
No.
budgets. You know, they get what they need and
Right,
they understand. They go in with the precedent that pretty much assume the money's not there. So at the end of the year, when the money's there, we're like, "Woo, here you go, you know, get your stuff.
Buy it now.
Yeah, buy it now. We like to do that. But it helps
we're real
us.
good at, Menards rebates too.
Yeah, here's,
Heck, yeah. I hope
We
so.
got a killer one from your refrigerator,
yeah, see?
like $142.
I got like $170 one for my fridge. I was like,
Yeah,
yes.
when I was going through the receipt, I'm like, please let there be a rebate on there, like, send that one in right now.
We took some of the rebates and had Ron start replacing
Yeah,
the light
the lights.
switches with the motion.
With automatics, we keep the lights off.
Keep the lights off in the back.
And it's gonna be, you know, over time, it's gonna be little things like that lights. I noticed that, okay, so I'm not crazy, so I went to the bathroom the other night, and I'm like, I swear this has been a light switch.
For the first like week, I would go in and go like, that's on the wall, and then I'm like,
I
oh.
like rub my hand on it, I'm like, wait. I'm like,
And then it comes on and it's like, oh yeah, that's right.
That was my thought, like, I was sitting there and I'm like, I swear it hasn't always been like that, like, I felt weird leaving the bathroom, and I'm like.
You stay outside the door,
Maybe
get how long?
I've just been that oblivious for 3
Ron, how long does it stay on?
No, it just happened.
Okay, okay, that makes me feel better, because I just thought that I had been that oblivious for the last 3-4 years. I was like, no way, like.
Well, I had it set for 30 seconds, so you had to be quick. But she said that
That's a
Too short.
lot
I
of
know, I
time.
was like, if the light goes off on me and they're
so we set it for
I
5
will
minutes.
scream.
Yeah, a little longer. You know, but little things like that are gonna start helping. You know, I noticed I went down to PD the other night and the guys had shut all the lights off when they weren't down there. It was pitch black. I had to do like the
Where are
wall.
the light switches?
Yeah, I had to do the wall thing when I went down there, but I mean, it was nice to see that because it's gonna be little things like that that'll slowly just cut back on overall expenses.
I was gonna
which will help
put
us.
more of those switches down in the PD, but the last two that they had weren't effective, so, we can do more down in PD, they just, at the time, they only had 4 of them in ours, or whatever.
I'd like to at least get them two, like if they had,
Yeah.
it'd be nice to have them all, so if they have to get up and run for a call,
Yeah.
they're not.
Well, they got a couple- they got a
The light
couple
switch
down.
cancel their way
Are
out.
we thinking, like 4 different?
Yeah. I mean, they got, their bathrooms have got the
For
most.
sure, right
expensive
now, the
ones
bathrooms,
below these.
so those front
But I was
bathrooms.
gonna put in 2 more, but they were defective. I even brought them over to the shop to try to make them work in the shop, but they didn't work, so.
Ron spent a lot of time on those.
You did.
I mean, cause eventually it'd be nice if the town hall was set up on that. I mean, then we only had like, here on an actual, but
Well, that's why, since we've been closed, we've just been keeping the lights off.
you're all the lights off.
Like in the-
Yeah.
Well, and I think that you guys are pretty conservative, like if there's nothing going on, the lights aren't on in here. I
Right.
mean, when I come in here, even when we're open, if nothing was happening, the lights are
Right.
off in here.
Yeah,
So, I mean, it's just little things. I mean, you can, I don't know how these fixtures are, but as bulbs burn out, you can switch them over to LED depending on what the ballast is.
Yeah, I guess switch over the balance.
Yeah. And that might be, how many bulbs you're buying. And
we had talked about that, and then the
I think now it's
possibility of a
something,
new building came along.
Yeah.
But now it's like head scratch.
that might be something that as we go along, because I think the new building thing's gonna be on hold for a couple of years.
So when we did at the shop,
Unless
we
some
did,
really cool grant comes out.
1 year we did, at the shop, 1 year we did the main shop, then the next year we did the wash bay and the mezzanine. All we really have left is just the crew room area to change over, but, call Anchor Electric, the price is pretty good.
I think as we go along, as you start to lose them, just kind of
Yeah.
start replacing them again. I mean, it's,
I mean, you put in those LED balances, haven't you?
Yeah, the cool thing is nowadays the ballast is in the bulb.
Oh,
So all you have to do is bypass the ballast and plug the bulb into it.
Yeah, I just replaced a few and it was just bulbs. They're expensive, like $750 a bulb, but
They're supposed to be 10-year bulbs, and we actually replaced all of them at the station, and I had 30 of them burn out at $7 a piece, and so I called the company up and said, hey, all these light bulbs burn out, and they replaced them.
well, there you go.
So you don't even have to change up the ballast?
Not anymore, you just bypass it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Well, as our
Hey, I
lights
didn't
are
know.
burning- I didn't know either. I said,
Yeah,
well, now
yeah.
that
Get away from
makes
these.
a
Where'd you buy
really
the bulbs?
white light. I didn't have to
we didn't-
Oh, yeah.
Didn't have to-
When you walk
What I
into the
did
public
was
works
with
shop,
ballast.
like in
That was
the
not-
evening,
we do.
I mean, it is a like bright white light in
Well,
there.
I talked to,
It's pretty intense.
For Brian's
Like,
stuff.
it's like a bright
Consolidated
daylight, like
electric.
it's bright, it's not that shallowly fluorescent.
Yeah, it's something.
They'll make
like
them
that.
hard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, well,
I'll check there, I'll check on that, see if we.
call it.
I think so, I don't know.
I don't feel like you
Think
said,
we-
until we start, unless we are gonna start dipping into services, which I don't.
I don't think we're at that
do.
position, to be honest.
We can
Or you
dump
make it look
trash.
good on paper, but we end up spending it anyway, so what was the
Exactly. Or we go in with the preface that everyone just watch pennies, and I think everyone does really good here, they're getting, like you said, your maintenance is getting more and more under control, because the guys are staying on top of it, I think whatever this PD car mess is, once we get through this, but, I mean, do you feel like your guys are keeping the maintenance issues?
Well, one of our bowling balls isn't here anymore, so that vehicle should be in better shape. And,
Bowling balls?
yeah,
Wrecking ball.
Wrecking ball?
yeah, wrecking ball. These older ones, I mean, some of it's just a design flaw that nobody knew about when they were ordered, coupled with excessive idle time over the years. So some of it, unfortunate it's happening now, but it was gonna happen,
Regardless.
couldn't plan for it, it just happened to happen now. So, yeah, I just wanna make sure that we at least are either maintaining or keeping vehicles enough so that they can respond to the calls that's needed and not dying on the way there and
They're not coming
things
to you
like
when the
that.
fire's completely bulk, they're
Right.
coming to you ahead of time saying, hey, chief, in the next
Yeah,
month or two, I
that-
need tires, so you don't blow a tire and trash a rim.
Yeah, and those little things, you know, and when
Things.
they were neglected, you know, they, when those tires fall, you know, that, and breaks and not replace and maintain that stuff, it builds up over time, and so, you know, we're here. So, I think they've come a long ways in the last year about idle times and take better care of it, and now the wrecking ball is gone. Get that vehicle up and rolling. So,
Well, I think if everyone just kind of maintains that, I mean, just from the time I've been on council and as mayor, I've seen a change. It's not, well, this is broke, this is broke, this is broke, this is broke, this is broke. It's now, this is getting older, we'd like to replace it. You know, this is getting to the point where what it's needing, we need to replace it. It's not, well, this piece of equipment's 3 years old and now we need to do this, this, and this, and this to it. Like, that's not coming up anymore. It's things that when they say, hey, we gotta do this, and I'm like, well, how old is it? Oh, well, you know, 7 years. Oh, okay. Like, you know, it's more, the maintenance that's coming up is it's more expected. It's more, yeah, it's gonna need it, you know, like a valve on a fire truck, like it's,
You know,
I think everyone's been doing really good.
I think once these older Fords with these motors that are designed, quality Fords should never designed, are out of our system, that's gonna help some. In the right mind as a educated engineer would put a water pump inside of a motor.
Because they're mad at the mechanics that day. I mean, they told mechanics and engineers jokes there. Okay,
Can I take a copy of your notes?
yes.
So I can take
Make sure that we're all, there's IT notes.
We now have a potbelly pig in town,
Right.
Where at?
Aspen's.
Well, if it's one of the same trailers as an alligator.
36?
This is just chaos.
No, I think that one was like
On my optimistic sheet.
98.
There's where it started.
No,
Yeah, they had a smoked alligator.
advertised
Alligator and the
for a
kitchen.
truck for lawn.
Okay. Do
Yeah.
they have one on the lot? Do you-
Well, I went out there, used to be down right out of Western there. I think search drag was down. Yeah. It's like it was a dog, you ran around with dogs and barks and all kinds of stuff.
I hated that thing, so.
Okay. Are you okay with it being?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I almost choked on the last.
You're good.
I kind of let me have
Would you
one.
be grateful?
I suppose people get mad when I run out.
Yeah, you totally lied anyway.
And then it's only,
It might like to smell of
seven
bacon.
inch difference because of one inch or, you know, almost all, 5.7, that this one shows the doors as well.
Yes.
It's got the same on that.
Metro doesn't have it. I can just compute it, that's it.
So
So you think Metro said they want
And it might be a little bit cheaper.
Want me to show you how to scrape or?
There's a problem there, but you-
I was actually just reading those notes,
Yeah.
chuckling to myself as it said called deputies, and I was like,
It's like, we don't have any way to transport something, we don't have facilities, like, I mean, it's.
And we're gonna try to get that out so we can.
I'm not gonna go out there and be like, I don't want to do this, and leave, I mean.
That's a damn neat
I'll put this back together and then advertise. and
They don't-
bids.
Did you say they
They're
don't have
heavy.
anything
Fifth of June.
petrol?
Supposedly, yeah, that's what dispatch just told,
And then a board.
I don't know, but at first dispatch got hold of us, and they're like, oh yeah, Metro doesn't deal with this, so, and then they just like trailed off.
They're just like dogs.
Just
take it into- they have Robert Adams.
Okay, 126. Okay, then who's
So
the
far,
one?
so we got the.
Gotcha.
Yourself? Jason Cakes?
Apparently, and insults Andrew, man.
Well, I don't know.
I
Steve.
haven't
don't-
heard, but yeah.
I don't think we have an ordinance that says you can't have it right at the moment because it's not effective.
Well, see, that's the thing, I don't know what the problem is, I don't know if someone just found this thing, or if it's just out rampant, and I gotta find it, or what?
Yeah.
Well, tell you what,
Um,
pretty much done here,
And
so
then,
let's go through it. So,
Okay.
Adam twice in 1 week?
I know, isn't this rare?
Well, how are you?
You guys aren't usually here this
Haven't
late,
seen
so.
you. Haven't seen you in a while.
Just enjoying the benefits of being a creature today.